What's up again, guys? Yeah, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Dovahkiin, and welcome back to Let's Play Divinity Original Sin 2. And before we begin, be sure to hit on the subscribe button for more great videos. As promised from my previous episode, today we jump into damage types. Alright, I'm sure you know that in order to crowd control or apply debuffs to enemies, we must first deplete their armors. The earlier you can CC them, the better. And that is the reason why focusing your squad to output only one damage type is recommended. Thus, you might have heard that a full party of physical damagers is Imba. Likewise with a full squad of magical damagers, which is more difficult to build and play than a physical damage party. And they say that mixed or split damage squads are inferior. However, this depends on your build and how you adapt to situations. Let me then relate this with my party's builds. By the way, the links to my build arc are in the description. Let's start with my tune, Onyx Dovahkiin, an Elementalist. His wand, though I seldom attack with it, of course outputs magical damage. His first set of mastered schools is the Elemental Magics, Aero, Geo, Hydro, and Pyro. And the second set, although they are physical, are mostly for the utility. Polymorph, for boosting int and damage quickly. Huntsman for causing even more damage when on high ground. And Necromancy to output some sort of physical damage, though damage produced this way are still very decent because of his high int. Next is Red, a two-handed fighter. Obviously his sword is physical. His mastered schools are Warfare and Polymorph, both of which are physical as well. Now we move on to Sibyl, a rogue. Naturally, her dual daggers are physical. Her mastered schools are Scoundrel, Necromancy, and Polymorph, all of which are physical too. And finally Fane, a ranger. Crossbows are obviously physical. His mastered schools are Huntsman, which is physical, and Geomancer, which on the contrary is magical. By the way, another source of magical damage is his array of elemental arrows. Now let's do the rundown. Onyx is primarily a magical damager. Red and Sibyl on the other hand are physical damagers. And Fane, well, primarily he's a physical damager too, but he's actually my variable, because he can also inflict insane amounts of magical damage with Geo and his elemental arrows. Therefore, my squad's usual damage type has a ratio of 3:1 in favor of physical damage, and that is considered as mixed. But depending on circumstance and Fane's variability, I can also switch to a 2:2 ratio, or what you call a split damage party. Okay, but most of the time I'm on the 3:1 physical configuration. Now, as per my physical tunes, is there a way for them to inflict magical damage simultaneously? Simple, through enchanting your weapons with magical damage, either via runes or crafting. And though the boost may be minimal, it helps nonetheless. Just be careful because there are some enemies that can heal from certain elements. Thus I've set preferences for each of my tunes. Fire for Red's two-handed swords, Air and Water respectively for Sibyl's dual daggers, and Earth for Fane's crossbows. Moreover, I dip them in poison, if possible, because imbuing two elements doesn't seem to work with some one-handed weapons like daggers. By the way, again, I rarely use the wand, but I prefer air on it simply because it looks nastier that way. Anyway, whichever damage config you prefer, purely physical or magical, mixed or split, it doesn't matter as long as you can rock and slay with it. Okay, now we go back to the arena and knock Murga's teeth out in this championship bout. By the way, this time, the purpose of the pre-fight fortify on Fane is to prevent him from being Murga's first target. Yes, that's another simple trick I use on my squishy tunes to fool the AI, especially when enemies sport some sort of scoundrel skills.
Nice show out there. You're smouldering, you are. Oh, this'll be a scotcher. Who are you taking along? You only get this one chance, so keep your wits about you.
Sorceress, caged like little ickle squirmy worms. Delicious.
Murga blanches, jaw hardening as she steps backwards. It could be just a trick of the light, but it certainly looks like she's trembling with fear.
This is bad news, Cupcake. Ah! Just giving you a chance to soften him up for me. Hop 2, and don't even think this championship is over yet.
Flickering and glimmering in and out of sight in the gloom, Murga winks at you and then disappears.
Just like last time, she runs to her little ickle fading shadows. Won't save you, can't save you.
The dwarf bounces up and down with glee, then catches himself and clears his throat. He bows before you.
Extraordinary, son, just extraordinary. The spirit of the One has yet to settle, but it hovers near. It knows your great feat. I feel the glow. Ain't just praise you're earning, though. Giving you this key, too. It's an arena champ tradition. Takes you to treasure, it does, and only a champ can survive that journey.
The dwarf bellows out to all within earshot.
I proclaim thee the champion of the Driftwood arena. Get your gloat on and take a swig of ale. Hell, take a dozen. We'll be singing for years to come of the great human Void Slayer.
And that's all there is for now. Thanks for watching. Also, check out other videos from Sabbath Clan Philippines and subscribe. See you on my next vid. Peace out.